Utpr, also known as Undertale Test Plays Reborn, is one of the many Undertale fighting games on Roblox. Like many other fighting games, it is based on Soul Shatters by Bunny Dreamer. Soul Shatters itself met an unfortunate end, but it inspired a lot of other games such as Utpr. In this video, I'll be giving a beginner's guide and teaching you how to play the game if you're very new. Once you join the game, this is the first thing you see. This is the title screen of Utpr. I highly recommend going to Extra on the left first, and then going to Settings. Change these to your likings. I definitely recommend turning off the camera shake since it's just annoying. You can also turn off the spawning animations, unless you like them. Once you've changed your settings to your likings, you go back and click on Play. Here you'll have the options to choose between Glitchtail and Undertale. These are categories for all the characters in the game. Since this guide isn't on any character specific, we'll be choosing Kara. You can choose any character they want since they mainly function the same. The controls are very simple in this game, and I feel like most of you know what to do already with the controls, so I'm not gonna go explaining much. Aim your mouse on an enemy, and press the scroll wheel or L to lock on. This will make your camera always be on them, so you can attack them. This is always used for fighting. You can do melee by clicking the left mouse button, and blocking by pressing the F button. Do note that Sans and Asriel have a right mouse button for additional melee combos. Double tapping the A, W, S, or D keys will cause you to dash. Holding them makes you run. This is one of the key elements to any fight. By pressing R, you can teleport depending on what kind of character you have. Note that some characters at some stages do not have a teleport. By pressing any number, you can use your character's moves. The amount of moves your characters have will be in the bottom right. That's all there was to the controls. Now on to the main function. Blocking right as an enemy attacks will result in a perfect block. This will temporarily stun them and allow you to attack them. In the bottom left you will see two bars, one blue one and one orange one. For the sake of simplicity, let's call the blue one stamina and call the orange one mana. Your stamina is used to run and dash. It will regenerate over time whenever you're not running or dashing. This includes being attacked and attacking yourself. You also use your mana to dash. Your mana is used for your moves, such as the number moves, 1, 2, 3, etc. This is an extremely important bar, for when it is low, you'll see on the ground longer, allowing enemies to land ults, or moves that take longer to hit. This bar will start regenerating after you've stopped running or attacking for a while. Once it is low, I highly recommend you to play more defensive. Don't dash, use moves, or go crazy. I've seen a lot of people do this, and it's a very common and big mistake. Here's what you commonly see in a 1v1. It's a war of two people trying to get the first LMB. This term is also usually referred to as a dance of sorts. Let's talk about being down on the ground. Right here, I'm about to hit this dummy. When you have no stamina, you'll stay on the ground for a long time, such as this dummy. I have seen so many people trying to hit like this when the enemy's on the ground. Just don't do it, it doesn't work. When the enemy is down on the floor, it's just best to use a move that picks them up. You'll have to learn what move does what depending on what character you play. As I'm playing Kara here, I can hit this dummy on the floor, and then use my 2. This 2 picks up from the floor. All characters have a different playstyle. Since this guide isn't on any specific character, I won't be going into that. Another thing I see people do way too much is just randomly use moves, expecting them to hit. Maybe this is just a case of not knowing the character well. Some moves just aren't gonna work randomly using like this. It doesn't work. For characters that lose mana really fast, that can be a very bad thing. Someone just needs to hit you once after you spammed all your moves and missed, and boom, they can hit an ult. Next, I'd like to talk about 3 different strategies. If you want to become a professional player, it's important you utilize all three of these strategies. Let's talk about them, one by one. You can block LMBs in this game. However, every last LMB of every character is a heavy, which will break your block and stun you. This will allow the enemy to hit you. However, the time between the second to last LMB and the heavy LMB is longer than the rest of them. Of course, perfect blocking is better, but if you block too early and your enemy starts attacking you while you're blocking, this is what you want to do to get out. Watch closely. Did you see that? If you blinked, you missed it. Now let's play that in slow motion. After he did his second to last LMB, I unblocked and dashed to the side, dodging his final LMB. This is what I like to call block dashing, and it's an extremely useful thing. To be able to do this, you need to know what all the characters' LMBs look like, but this isn't actually that hard. The next thing we're going to be talking about is stamina baiting. Stamina baiting is the exact thing that the name suggests. You run around the enemy like a dance, wanting them to use up all their moves to use up their stamina. You usually do this when the enemy's already at low stamina, like half stamina. Somehow the enemy needs more than 3 brain cells to figure out you're doing this. So you could just use this against average players and they'll still fall for it. Once you've baited them enough and their stamina are low enough, you can hit them and successfully land your ult. Earlier we've talked about how important mana is. With these strategies, I'll tell you how to manage your stamina better. Some characters have some pretty long combos, but that's okay. If you're in a combo for long enough, it counts as not attacking, not dashing, anything. So you'll start regenerating your mana. It's important to act passive when you get up. Allow that stamina to regen to its fullest. I've seen so many people just immediately run towards the enemy, just attack, full on offensive, so aggressive, like right after they get up. It's not smart to do. Now let's talk about the aggressive aspect. If you have a lot of stamina, and the enemy doesn't have much stamina, oh boy, this is where it gets good for you. Go all out, pressure them, stamina bait them, get that stamina down. Once you've got them, you can freely do your strongest combo or hit your ult if it's off cooldown. What to do if an enemy dances around you when you're low on stamina? It may seem scary, but the one main thing you can't do is dash, run, anything that interrupts your regen. You need that stamina. Left mouse buttons don't take away your stamina. Use this. Intimidate them. Click as they run around you. Make sure they're scared to attack. Try to get a perfect block in if you can. And if they hit you normally while blocking, you can block dash. Now that we're at this part of the clip anyway, I'd like to ask you something. What is the enemy doing wrong here? If you answered their aggressive playstyle, you'd be right. Under his HP, you can tell he has barely any stamina at all. Yet he's playing incredibly aggressive. Fortunately for him, I didn't have an ult ready at the time, but if I did, I'd easily be able to hit him with it. In his 1v1, he managed to even be very far behind on HP. Especially when you're low on HP, you don't want to do that. The next thing I'd like to do is look at a 1v1. We're gonna look into it and see why I won. What things did I do different? And why did he get no diffed? The first mistake he made was using one from such a far distance. As you can see, he tries to combo here, but because he's so far away, he can't get further than his 2. He also manages to waste his 4 in the process. If you don't know, 4 has a 1 minute cooldown and a huge stamina drain. Because of him using up so much moves, you can see that he already has no mana once I get up to him. This immediately gives me a huge advantage. And to think we're about 10 seconds into the battle. As you can see, here's where the block dashing already comes in. Here you can see me playing passive to get my defense back. However, he does not do the same. As soon as I get my stamina full, I pressure him, knowing he has no stamina. As soon as he gets up, he doesn't even take a second to get his stamina back. He comes right to me. As soon as he gets up, he immediately dashes and goes crazy again. This behavior you'll see new players like this one do a lot. Enough pausing every time he does this, you get the thing. Here you can see me playing past to get my stamina back. But again, he does not do the same thing. It just doesn't want to get his stamina back. Again, the one from super far away. And instead of holding 4, he does regular 4? What? Using your hold 1 just to use your hold 2 is not worth the 16 damage, buddy. This is where I start stamina baiting and he somehow falls for it. Because of his stamina baiting, I'm able to use my ult. Again, you can see me playing passive here. Once again, he charges right at me with no stamina. And you can see me playing passive here once more for that stamina. Do you notice how I almost always have max stamina, while he was always at 0 stamina? The Spear of Justice won't hit unless you've used a charge too. And since he even took a second to use it after he hit me with his 1, it's definitely not gonna hit. Pause right there, please. Okay, continue. I believe that should be enough for today. Since I probably forgot some stuff, I'll make a second part to this in the future. If you have any suggestions on what other things I should cover in a guide, feel free to comment down below. I also have guides for every specific character planned, so be on the lookout for that. That is all. Thank you for making it to the end, and I hope you learned something.